All right, welcome in. Game 4. Another potential decider match here. Russia versus Taiwan. Taiwan needs the reverse sweep here to stay alive in this tournament. They got it started last game. Do I know Cloud's elo? Yes, I do. It's 2,300 right now. We're here on Arena. We had a really good Arena game yesterday. We'll see if we can follow that up here. Let's introduce our teams. We've got Vinchester playing as the Bohemians. He is teamed up with Antagonist as the Malay. Interesting. No Burgundians. Burgundians have been an auto pick on Arena in this tournament so far, so that's very interesting to see. They're up against Sorokuma playing as the Spanish, and Cloud has the Poles. We saw how dangerous the Poles can be yesterday. Almost carried this Arena game yesterday. Who was it that actually had the Poles? It was Poland, right? Yeah, Jim Jack. Jim Jack had the Poles yesterday. And almost cleared with it. So Poles are very, very dangerous on especially team game. Well, I think Poles are underrated on Arena in general. I think Poles are actually quite good on Arena at most elos. But we'll see. Spanish, of course. Always a good civ. We'll see exactly what the strategy is here for Sorokuma. Obviously, the first thing that comes to mind when you see Spanish on Arena has to be castles, conquistadors, but there are many other options for the Spanish. Basically, they can do anything. We could see a heavy monk play. Could see some donkeys. Not to excite anyone, but there is a possibility we see some donkeys here. Obviously, I think Paladin is the late game composition always for Spanish, but I'm curious to see what the early game strategy is here for Sorokuma. Also Malay. Malay are a timing civ, right? Feels like if you're picking Malay here, you're trying to hit... I guess Bohemians kind of are too, to be honest. Feels like Malay, you're trying to hit like a fast Imperial Age. You could try to FC into monks or something too. Castle drop karambits, I guess, are always a possibility. Vinch is inconsistent. Is Vinch inconsistent? Yeah, kind of, he is. He kind of is, yes. He's looked pretty good today, but Vinchester is one of those weird players where Vinchester doesn't necessarily have good days and bad days. He has like good games and bad games, it feels like. He can swing quite widely, just one game to the next. So you never know. If it's like, I'm thinking of other quote unquote inconsistent players like MBL. You can tell immediately, first game of MBL's day, how his entire day is going to go, right? Vinchester, not really that way, or at least I don't think of him that way. All right, Feudal Age coming in for Russia. This is actually a very quick Feudal Age for Antagonist especially. This is like Arabia Archers timing. I don't think that's what he's doing. There's no way he can pull off a fast castle, right? 21 villager up with Malay. I don't think there's any way you're fast castling off that. But I'd be happy to be proved wrong. And Vinchester also going up 20 villagers with the Bohemians. He could pull off an FC with that. What if it's a double Phosphorus for Russia? FC, forward castle drop into Hussite wagons and karambits. Imagine that. What do we think about that? How are we feeling? Feudal Age on the way for Taiwan. They're going up much later. Much later, actually. It does appear to be an FC castle for Sorokuma. And probably the same for Cloud, to be honest. Poles feels like the strategy is FC, maybe boom first, but add in a castle pretty quickly, get the privileges, start that knight spam. Antagonist is slinging Winchester. Ooh, okay. Slinging Vinch to Castle Age. How do we feel about the Bohemians in a full sling position? I don't know. It is going to be Hussite wagons. Winchester is heavy on stone, so it is a Phosphoru. It's not a double. It is a sling into a Phosphoru. Minute 40, still here for Winchester until Castle Age hits. Okay. Let's see. I don't think I like this, but maybe I do. It depends on the timing here, right? If you allow the poles to get into a full knight spam, then the Hussite wagons don't feel very good. But if you can kill them before they get there, that feels pretty good. Poles are a kind of a slow sieve to get rolling. So theoretically, if Vinch is able to castle drop here, get like 5 Hussite wagons into the eco before Cloud is prepared? Maybe. Castle Age on the way for Taiwan. Antagonist is going to be in Feudal Age for quite a while after all the sling he sent. Finch is just waiting for Castle Age. He's going to slap the castle down right there. Beautiful. And he's just out of... It was actually calculated. He did the math. He did so much math on this one. Cloud does not see this castle at all. That's actually brutal. That's really good. Oh, don't draw the spearman back into the castle, though. Okay, well. Cloud gets a little sneak peek of what's happening. This does allow him to start panic walling behind here. I don't even know... Poles, I don't think get redemption. I don't think they get redemption, do they? I actually don't know that. You almost never go monks with the poles, so I'm not super familiar with their tech tree. But I feel like they don't get redemption, so you'd need Sorokuma to come over with monks if you were going to go that route. Alright, Antagonist is going to try and get up to Castle Age now. He's actually not going to be that far behind, considering all the res he sent. Vinch is probably going to need to make some petards now to get through the walls. Hussite wagons don't do a lot of damage to buildings, so it's going to be Mangonel defense for Cloud in the meantime. He is going for a second TC. Meanwhile, Sorokuma says, guess what? I can do that too. He is castle dropping Cloud. Okay, this is the spicy kind of gameplay we like to see here. Double castle drop, but not by the same team. And, well, Antagonist is going to be in Castle Age, but there's not going to be very much in the way of resources here when he gets there. So, Malay can go monk defense. They have a full monk tech tree, but it's a matter of how much res you've got to do that with. Because conquistadors are coming out. It is indeed a petard, but we're not going to Cloud. The petard is heading instead to Sorokuma. I think he's expecting this, or at least he is preparing for this possibility. He's already getting some stone walls up behind his main walls. And I think these fears are going to be confirmed now for him as the Hussite wagons arrive. You only need one petard if you do enough damage. I don't actually know how much damage this petard will do. But Vinchester calculated the castle so nicely, I'm sure he is calculating this as well. He is giving a lot of time to Sorokuma to get these walls up. Okay, well, it takes a while with one. It takes a while with one. Spearman? Big? That villager's full of holes now, but I guess she's fine. Conquistador is coming out. Petards now going to Vinchester. Were these teams practicing together? What's going on? This is like the same exact strategy, except Vinchester is not prepared for this at all. Sorokuma was already pre-walling his base when the Petard came in. This is not the case with Vinchester. He is wide open. He does have 2 TCs down in here, but things are going to get awkward real fast for him as the Petards hit, and the Conks are going to be running in, and panic time for Vinchester now. The Hussite wagons have found no damage, hardly at all. They forced some walling, that's it. And his eco's kind of in shambles. He's had to pull off this stone. He's pulled off this wood line. He's trying to scramble a monastery up in his base, but for conquistadors, you're gonna need sanctity and probably like 2 or 3 monks. If Sorokuma is microing soundly. Meanwhile, Antagonist is on 2 TCs. He's just, like, kind of booming a little bit. Cloud's on 3, and he's getting his full work set up. So I said you needed to do damage to the poles early. Very little damage was done here to Cloud. And he's even on stone with 7 villagers, so he's going to have the castle pretty soon. Conks taking a little bit of damage from the TC, but there's so much idle time in here for Vinchester. He's getting Fervor. That is also an economic bonus or upgrade for the Bohemians because it affects their villagers as well. Monk, ooh, does get the conversion. Okay, pays with his life. The Hussite wagons have rolled all the way back home. That takes so much time. These are not quick units. But I guess it's necessary. The Hussite wagons do quite well against conquistadors, so I don't think these conks will find too much more damage, but already been rough. Now Sorokuma is pinging. What is he pinging? He says, okay, Vinchester is re-walled up. So maybe he's going to start pushing in on Antagonist now? Not sure. Cloud is pinging the castle. As Vinch is going to drop another castle. He really wants to push in here on Cloud. 3 full works have been set up. Already heavy plow as well. A 4th full work on the way down. There's not a lot here to cover this castle, though. It's only 6 villagers. Is Vinchester paying attention? Not immediately, but he does now. Second TC back here for Sorokuma. The conks have been cleared up inside Vinch's base. So much sling is happening. They really want Vinchester in Imperial Age. Antagonist just sent literally everything he has ever had to his name over to Vinchester. And Vinchester also hammered that marketplace, so he's going to click up to Imp. It would be nice if he had a second castle here when he hits Imp, because Cloud is going to drop a castle of his own. He's going to get the privileges tech, and then he's going to start spamming out those knights. And that is a very dangerous unit to have on the field. We've got a ram here for Cloud. He's going to ram push. Okay. I don't mind that. More conks. The wall was not super well built behind this for Vinchester, so the conks can actually get through it pretty quickly. This is an intense game? Yes. Yes, it is. It really is. Conks are going to be back in. Vinch is kind of preparing for this. But Sorokuma can probably just run underneath the TC and it's not that big of a deal. Hussite wagons trying to deal with the mangonels long enough for the castle to go up. This castle's almost dead. It's 60% built and it's only got 1,000 HP on it. Vinchester. Oh, okay. He really wants this castle up. Imperial Age on the way for Cloud now. Okay. This castle's a no-go. This castle's not going to happen. Which is unfortunate because trebuchets cannot range that much from underneath this castle. If this castle goes up, suddenly this castle goes down, this TC goes down, production buildings down, all this stuff dies. With just this castle, you can kind of range this one with a trebuchet, but if Cloud is spamming out those knights, which he's prepping to do, it's fairly simple just to dive underneath there. Meanwhile, Sorokuma dropping a second castle now on Antagonist. Antagonist has nothing, by the way, because he has sent all of his resources to Vinchester multiple times in this game. The Wagenburg Tactics coming in for Vinchester to give his siege a little bit more speed. But knights are on the way here for Cloud. Now, Vinchester is now slinging Antagonist back. I feel like they just sent resources back and forth to each other, but maybe I didn't read that right. There is still tax in this game, so that's... Ideally, you're not doing that. Also, Antagonist, big arena noob, apparently. He hasn't even deleted these back walls yet. Conks are in. There's a single monk in here for Antagonist. He's about to have two. He's going to lose a lot of vills, though, in the meantime. Double castle stack here for Vinch, as he's not even going for Trebs. He's got a bombard cannon out on the field. Imperial Age hits for Cloud, though. I'm not loving this for Russia. I'm really not. Mangonel's not realistically going to be able to snipe this bombard cannon, but they can delay it a bit. Cloud just needs a little bit more time. Just a tiny bit more time, and Cloud will be, I think, able to push this back. Couple conks were converted in here, which is definitely good for Antagonist. Cavalier now on the way for Cloud. Conscription. That monk does not get a conversion. Forging. I love how patient Cloud is being. I love how patient he's being. He's not rushing anything. He says, all right, take some of my production buildings. Do a little damage to my castle. He's going to run out here with one knight to see what's out here. Block printing coming in for Vinch. Cavalier hits. The armors are both in. 4, 5, 6 stable production on Cavalier. This would be a little bit more patient, I think. Third TC is being attempted out here for Sorokuma. I have no idea where these villagers are coming from, though. They're taking the long way around. Conks have mostly been cleared up in Antagonist's base. He's going to drop a castle smack dab between his TCs to try and protect himself. Sorokuma's going back to Vinch. I love the swing back and forth. Another petard into the walls. Vinchester does have 2 monks here, but this is not what Vinch wants to have to think about, while the Cavalier also prepping for a charge out. The walls get deleted. Vinchester has to try and save his eco while also taking the fight, and he has to make decisions here about where his APM's gonna go. He's only got pikemen. Halb is coming in, but all the siege is gonna go down to the Cavalier. And all of his eco is going down in the back, I'm pretty sure. He has not reacted at all to the conks. Okay, that might have been a town bell, to be honest. But the castle goes down for Vinch. I think Taiwan is taking this to a game 5. I think. I don't want to call it too early, but Vinch is down to 50 villagers. He's got conks all up in his business. He has a lot of idle villagers. And the GG is called. Taiwan takes it to the game 5. The sling strategy. I don't know. The sling strategy did not work out here for Vinchester and Antagonist. It just took too long, right? It took way too long for all this stuff to happen. If you're going to go full sling into this sort of strategy for Russia, you need to be able to kill someone. For sure. Like, either commit here, get the Petards into the second layer of wall, and actually get the wagons into Cloud's eco, or, like, get over here faster. It was actually huge brained play for Sorokuma. He was already stonewalling his base before any military from Vinchester arrived over here. If Vinchester gets in here, if Vinchester can roll in with Hussite wagons the same way Sorokuma rolled in with Conks, this game might be very different. But really good job walling behind by both of Taiwan's players. And well, Antagonist didn't have much of a game. Antagonist did not have much of a game. He just slung all game long. Oof. Oh my god. Full sling and then only 0.63 KD is rough. Vinch only destroyed 3 buildings. Man. Polish eco. Kinda good, it turns out. A casual 50% more res collected than anyone else in the game. That's kind of crazy.